Tucker Carlson is probably the one of the prime definitions of when I think of the word narcissistic. He definitely comes to mind. Inflated ego, definitely. Dub S for sure. And all of those plus a host of other things that come to mind that I can't really formulate into words is going to explain what I'm about to talk to you about right now. So Tucker Carlson is back in hot water yet again, but the thing is, when is he never in hot water? I mean, he probably finds a way to climb himself out of it, but then he'll find a way to try to put him back in. But there was a racist text to a producer that he sent that literally has him back in the news yet again, even though he really hasn't left the news since his firing over at Fox News. And basically in the text message, he basically said these words: "It's not how white men fight." And when I saw that part right there, without even seeing the whole text, which I'm going to read to you what it says, I'm sitting here saying to myself, Tucker, you ignited a lot of the stuff that has gone on in a political spectrum because of the words you said and the stuff you said when you had your show, and you wonder why you got fired. Or maybe he doesn't wonder why. Maybe he does know why he got fired, but his fans probably wonder why he got fired. But they'll sit up there and say that Tucker Carlson is telling the truth because I'm white and I say so. Whatever I say, it has to be true because I'm a white guy. In a newly revealed text message, ousted Fox News host Tucker Carlson made a racist comment and said he found himself briefly rooting for a mob of Trump supporters to kill a person. A couple of weeks ago, I was watching video of people fight on the street in Washington. Carlson texted the producer. A group of Trump guys surrounded an Antifa kid and started pounding the living ish out of him. It was 3 against 1 at least. Jumping a guy like that is dishonorable, obviously. It's not how white men fight. Is it not, Tucker? So basically you're trying to say that when it comes to jumping and, mob jumpings and stuff like that, that's reserved for other groups, in your eyes, specifically black people. It's not what white men do. It's not how white men fight. I can think of worse things that white men have done that will eclipse a 3-on-1 jumping, if we want to talk about historically. Jumping a guy like that is dishonorable, obviously is not how white men fight. Yet suddenly I found myself rooting for the mob against the man, hoping they'd hit him harder, kill him. I really wanted them to hurt the kid. I could taste it. Now listen to this. This guy literally was saying in a text message he was rooting for a mob to beat and kill this kid who was part of Antifa just because they were part of Antifa. That's a text message he sent. But I guess, his supporters are going to say, well, he is speaking some truth because, it's Tucker Carlson. There's no way Tucker possibly could ever spew a lie. Carlson sent the text message to one of his producers in the hours after the violent January 6, 2021 insurrection, or as I like to call it, invasion, on Capitol Hill. The message was redacted in court filings and was just one of several private conversations collected in the lawsuit filed by Dominion Voting Systems against Fox News. A source familiar with the matter confirmed to CNN. Well, that's very interesting. So that probably adds on more to the issues in that lawsuit that Dominion has going against Fox News right now. The text was first reported by the New York Times. The text message alarmed Fox's board of directors and played a role in Carlson's abrupt firing last month. So there it is right there. Fox News declined to comment to CNN on the report. Tucker Carlson did not respond to CNN's request for comment. The network announced last week that Fox News and Carlson had severed ties. The decision to part ways with Carlson was made by Fox Corporation Chief Executive Lachlan Murdoch and Fox News Chief Executive Suzanne Scott, a person familiar with the matter, said. The announcement came 1 week after Fox News settled a monster defamation lawsuit with Dominion for $785.5 million over the network's dissemination of election lies. The lawsuit had exposed Carlson and other Fox News primetime stars disparaging their network colleagues. A lawsuit filed in March by Carlson's now fired top booker Abby Grossberg also included a number of allegations of sexism on his show. But the text remains redacted. At the end of his text, Carlson continued that he does not condone violence. But again, I'm white and I say so. His version of condoning and our version of condoning are two different ones, and his would be seen as the truth. Because again, it's Tucker Carlson. Then somewhere deep in my brain, which is probably not that far, an alarm went off. This isn't good for me. I'm becoming something I don't want to be, Carlson continued. Too late. Too late. You already are who you are. There's no running back from that. The Antifa creep is a human being. Wow. Talk about like a backhanded slap in the face. He said the Antifa creep is a human being. First off, if I called anybody a creep, I wouldn't follow up literally in the next word calling them a human being. Much as I despise what he says and does, much as I'm sure I'd hate him personally if I knew him, I shouldn't gloat over his suffering where you did. I should be bothered by it. I should remember that somewhere somebody probably loves this kid and would be crushed if he was killed. If I don't care about those things, if I reduce people to their politics, how am I better than he is? Now, here's the thing. Most people who would support Tucker Carlson would say that this was an apology. It isn't. Nowhere did he say he apologizes for what he said. He literally put in a text message that he wished that these people who jumped this kid killed him. Anti-Defamation League CEO Jonathan Greenblatt, oh God. Kid Gravity, if you're out there listening, that your BFF is about to say something. Said Carlson's racist message wasn't shocking considering his frequent anti-immigrant comments on his show. What's not news is the fact that Tucker Carlson is a white nationalist, Greenblatt tweeted. Greenblatt, you have room to talk, but that's another story for another day. What is news is the fact that this somehow is surprising to anyone. Fox has not publicly commented on Carlson's departure other than to say, we thank him for his service. I bet they do, because he brought in them a lot of ratings and they needed a new golden goose after the firing of Bill O'Wifebeater. It says, we thank him for his service to the network as a host and prior to that as a contributor. But like I told people, this is who Tucker Carlson is. All right. No one should be shocked by anything this man says or possibly does. This man spent many years on the Fox News network spewing a bunch of anti-black American hate. The other groups, you know, they can fight for themselves when it comes to Tucker Carlson. This man has spewed a bunch of lies that they try to mask and disguise as truth. This man is tacky. He is deplorable. He is disgusting. And he's very privileged. Again, people, and I'm going to keep bringing this up. People forget this man's stepmother is the heir to Swanson broth. This man has never known what it's like to struggle. He's always been in a position to, quote unquote, win. This man, if he wanted to, could go live on an island by himself and be good for the rest of his life. But you know what, to be quite honest, that's not a bad thing for him to do. At least then, hopefully, we would never have to hear from him again. But something tells me he'll pop up and say some dumb shit. He'll probably find a way to say something about the island that he's staying on and relate it back to some bullshit that whatever he can concoct. That's just who he is. But I am not surprised that he said this. And he referred to this Antifa person as a kid. So I don't know if he was referring to him as a kid because he sees Antifa as beneath him and he referred to them as a kid and this person gonna be a grown man and decided that, you know, they're beneath me. So instead of me calling them a man, I'm gonna call them a kid. Or were they actually a child, like a minor, maybe a teenager? If so, this guy is even more sicker than we thought. Like, he literally put in text messages that he wishes that they would have beat him so bad that they killed him. He said that, and those are his words. This is nothing made up. It was in those text messages. So if he says that about this person, imagine what he's saying that's not in text form. Imagine what he's telling people over the phone when he's talking to them. Thank God we aren't mind readers. Could you imagine the thoughts that are floating around in his tiny little brain? Just oozing to burst out. That's the kind of person you got to be worried about. But I'm glad this is all coming to the surface now. It's just a shame it took for him to get fired for this stuff to start getting exposed, especially since these text messages was from over 2 years ago. But this is who Tucker Carlson is, has been, and always will be.